thank you for joining us. This is what we do every single week on the Lions Den. So bless y'all souls for being here and investing in yourself, because today we got something big for y'all. Last week, I want to talk about last week for a second, because last week was very powerful. And I think a lot of Lions got some takeaways out of last week that I just want to reiterate before we get started on today's call. And last week was really about understanding goal setting, but not goal setting, accountability. But outside of that, what were the learning lessons? Sometimes being slapped in the face. Sometimes you need a slap in the face to wake up, to see what you have in front of you. And then the second thing was that God is giving you signs. You just got to start looking for them. Billy knows this really well, because Billy's starting to get me also to understand more and more about my spiritual side of things. But God is giving us signs, gentlemen. We have to start looking for them. We got to start being receptive towards them. And the final thing we said last week was, don't do it alone. Don't do it alone. Why do it alone? Find a group of people, find a community, be a part of a brotherhood, just like we have here at Lions Den, that sets you up for success, that brings in the community of brotherhood. And that's why we show up here, guys. That's why we show up here every single week at 8 p.m. EST, 6 p.m. MST, and even 5 p.m. What is it? PST for my guy JC as well too. Because we got all different time zones and all different men from all different walks of life, from all different parts of the world, coming together for 3 simple words: brotherhood, blessings, and breakthroughs. It's the brotherhood between men. The only time you look down at another man is when you're picking him back up. The blessings from above, from within yourself, that you must believe, otherwise nothing else will make sense. And of course, the breakthroughs. Maybe something I say tonight, maybe something another Lion says tonight, but be open to those breakthroughs. Be receptive to understanding that it's not just the ego that is going to hold you back. It's the mindset thought pattern of not allowing those breakthroughs to actually be instilled into your being. Something I'm learning again more and more every single day myself. You're never going to get to the end of the journey, gentlemen. There's no end. There's no perfection. There's no 100% completion. But what there is a journey of growth, a journey of your experience, a journey the way that's going to lead you now to what your next step is. Gentlemen, when we talked about goals and accountability last week, it was interesting because I got a lot of feedback from the Lions saying that, you know what, Jay, like it was awesome to talk about goals and the distractions. You remember those distractions? Things like sex, alcohol, drugs, these things that are impulsive things that hold us back. They're holding us back. And I even admitted some real vulnerable shit with you guys as well, too, with some of my new coach coming in. He's giving me some incredible sessions just from recently from getting my act together when it comes to health. Because Lions, as much as we can talk about money, which we're going to talk about money today, we're going to talk about all the wealth that we can accumulate. But without health, gentlemen, the rest does not fucking matter. And that is a heavy lesson that I'm learning each and every single day, finding myself within the God that I believe in, that's giving me the insights to understand that these car accidents that are happening and me getting T-boned and me breaking my thumb are not coincidences. They're lessons that I'm learning from, adapting to, and now being able to share that experience with you so that you don't have to make those mistakes, so that you can learn and embrace your authentic energy the right way and be able to take the next step for yourself. But today, when I heard that accountability and goals was a really good topic, it was more so on, okay, Jay, like, I love that. But like, what can we do to make more money? And this money topic keeps coming back up. And I'm like, okay, so we got to bring the money topic back up, but we have to do it in a way so that you guys have some tactful resources towards what you can do in the next week that can help you now, not only just generate more revenue, which is incredible, which is the end result, of course, but it's also to connect and to do it authentically and to do it in a way that can create a legacy for your business, for your products and services that you sell, and also the way that you just want to show up. You know, Felipe is a good example of this, and I always mention him because he's an example of somebody that came from a traditional business where he was running his grind, he was owning the business, and he was doing his thing, and he was doing very, very good. But it wasn't until he could really step into his power to embrace his own connection to himself that allowed him to then go out there into the world and, yes, of course, sell people. Not sell people physically, but sell people on himself. And that's why he's traveling the world doing what he loves to do. and continuously building his brand into something that's going to be an enterprise level globally, from a passion that he had in his mind to now reality of being able to take the actions for it. Guys, today we're going to go into some tactics, but earlier today, I want to share something with you guys. So I was on a call with one of my mentors, Richard Dolan, and he was on with a new partner of his, Brad Lee. We were on an incredible webinar just before this. Actually, it was about a 3.5 hour webinar. So I tuned in as much as I could because I was running some errands and I was dealing with some of my real estate properties today and going in. I was in the trenches today, gentlemen. I don't know if you guys saw on my Instagram story. I was up there moving ceiling tiles and there was a leak for one of my tenants. So I had to go and take care of that. And like, I like to get in the trenches when I can as well. But something that I heard on the call today really hit me hard. And I want to reinforce that. I want to reinforce this factor for all the gentlemen on the call that may have heard this before, but really want to just amplify on how it hit me again. You see, Richard Dolan and Brad Lee are very profound guys when it comes to communication and influence. But something that Richie Dolan taught me years ago of being a mentor of mine was the word Jeff, the name Jeff. And this is the first rule that I want to talk about when it comes to making more, when it comes to revenue, when it comes to sales, when it comes to going and actually producing more for yourself. It's understanding Jeff. Jeff is your gatekeepers, the gatekeepers that hold you back from the success that you know that you're capable of. Now, what does Jeff stand for? J stands for the judgment. E stands for the ego. And F stands for the fear. You see, where we stop ourselves in all aspects of making money, and I'm going to give you an example in a second here, is first and foremost judgment, the judgment of others. How is somebody else going to perceive me? Like if I put any one of you right now on the spot right now and I turned on your mic and I said, go for it, talk. The first thing you're going to think is like, what do I say? Am I going to say it right? Am I going to say it wrong? What should I ask a question? Should I not? Judgment is going to be the first thing that just boom, it's going to slap you in the face. Like, ooh, I don't want to act wrong. I don't want to fail. I don't want to show that I fucked up. Like if you ever just were walking down the street and you slipped, you would get your ass back up so quickly and you would look around and be like, did anybody see me? No, I'm good. I'm good. Judgment is a killer and it's the first killer. And that's what I want you gentlemen to understand is that as a gatekeeper, judgment is the first one that shows up in front of you because it's the first thing that stops you from being who you need to be. You want to get on that sales call? You know you're supposed to make 100 sales calls, but you don't because you're like, what if I get rejected? What if they say no? You're in this mindset of thinking that you want to do it, but the judgment is holding you back. The second one is more powerful now. The second one, especially for the men on this call. We're all fucking men and we're all lions on this call. Ego. And we all know a lot about our ego. Every single man has an ego on this call, I'll tell you right now. That's it. It's just now understanding the difference between ego and confidence. You see, the ego within yourself is saying that I'm better than someone else. But the confidence is just knowing that you are great, that you have a plan, that there is a blessing that's bestowed upon you for you to go and act in service to the population around you. So you have a confidence by the way you walk around, by the way that you serve the people, the way that you serve yourself, the way that you go out there and create energy. So we have to control that ego. We have to understand that ego is the second component. And the last one is the fear. You see, the fear of the unknown is one of the scariest things that we can even understand because it's unknown. It's fucking man-made. We create it in our own head. The only two technical fears that will break you from delta-like state is the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. Every other fear is created in your own head. So when we understand that fear is the critical one, it's the one that I'm going to go, fear of failure, fear of success. See, I dealt with fear of failure for a long time, and then I fucking overcame that shit. And I was like, I don't give a shit. I'm going to fail. And I kept failing, and I kept failing, and I kept failing, where everyone said, what are you doing? Why do you keep failing? I said, I'm learning. But then I transitioned because then I achieved success in my hand. I started making millions of dollars in the commercial real estate game, and I achieved so much success in my life. The fear of failure was no longer there. I was like, I'm just going to keep pushing past. Eventually, I know God has a plan for me. Let's keep going. But the fear of success was the one that started to fucking break me. The fear of the success was me not being able to step into the position and the man that I know that I'm capable of being. Why am I stopping myself? I'm not scared to fail anymore, but why am I scared of succeeding now? How does that even make sense? But it happens to us. Gentlemen, it happens to us because we restrict our power. We restrict the fucking roar that we have inside of ourselves. Because if we were to achieve that success, okay, great, I achieved it. Can I maintain it? Holy fuck, that scares me. The maintenance of the success once achieved is a little intimidating. And that intimidation also becomes another fear that holds you back from taking that next step, from getting on that stage, from speaking your voice and your truth, from being the fucking lion that you deserve to be and the king that you know you are. So when we look at Jeff, I want us to take today as the mental capability of us understanding to manage our gatekeepers. That's the first lesson. Manage your gatekeepers. If those of you that are writing notes down, manage your gatekeepers. Judgment, ego, fear. These will be the first things that pop up at any moment when you are going to be stepping yourself out of your comfort zone. The minute that you try something that you feel is uncomfortable, boom, one of them is going to pop up. Which one is it? Decipher which one it is. Then when you realize what it is, okay, now it's time to go to combat with that one because you're fighting yourself. You're not fighting anybody else. You're fighting the best version of you right now. And these gatekeepers are going to hold you back. Now, when we get into sales, let's transition here. Because as much as we can look at sales as a mental game and we can say, okay, Jay, I got the judgment, ego, and fear. I'm going to look for my mental game now, but I need some tactics. Like I need something real and tangible that I can go and implement inside of my week next week and be able to actually convert more deals. Because that's what I want from you guys. I want you guys to be able to take this and then be able to come back next week and be like, wow, I took something that I heard and be able to implement it. And now, boom, I made X amount of dollars. But one thing I'll tell you with coaching, if you're a coach, consultant, or business service provider, I will tell you this now. The world of coaching and consulting and giving advice is becoming very obsolete very quick. 1% of the coaches right now are actually making it. The rest is a facade bullshit that is being sold online. The difference of the real makers that are doing a difference in the sales industry is understanding this. It's not about selling, it's about enrolling. How are you enrolling someone? Whatever your product service is. I don't care if you're in real estate, I don't care if you're in insurance, I don't care if you're in the music industry. How are you enrolling somebody versus selling somebody? Because when you're selling somebody, you are telling somebody, hey, I think you should spend money on a product or service that I have that will get you this benefit. And after you transact, you'll live happily ever after. We're too skeptical on that bullshit now. Everyone's selling fucking everything. So you can't really necessarily look at selling as the wave of the future. You have to look at enrolling. How are you enrolling people? How are you creating a culture? How are you creating an energy? How are you creating a vibe that people want to tune into? That is true followership. Not having 30,000 followers or 50,000 followers on a social media channel and half of them don't even talk to you or even you don't even know. Like I just cut 27,000 followers on my Instagram for a reason because I just don't have time for people that aren't contributing towards the cause. I don't care about the numbers. I care about the authenticity. And the difference now is enrollment. Enrollment. Being on a call like this. 2 years I've stayed consistent with this. Every single Thursday I show up here, no matter what time zone or whatever country I'm in. Enrollment is showcasing to you how it's done physically, not just selling you on a product. So think about your product. I want you to think hard on your product and your service that you provide the population. How are you enrolling people to now be not only educated on it, but to be able to be consumed by it? Now, like music is interesting. So Felipe, I want to touch base on this because music is very interesting because music is such a spiritual, holy, and also just like mental game. When you listen to music, you tune in, you create your own vibes, you tell your own story, you become immersive within that tune that you're listening to. So when you do that, how is that enrolling? Enrolling is the beat. Enrolling is the rhythm. Enrolling is the lyrics. Enrolling is the way that you get somebody to consume that a piece of music that makes them feel what? Alive. Alive. So when we enroll, I want us to start to experience that. I want us to start to understand. And Cullen, my man Cullen will always say this, show and share. Show and share the successes. Show and share the steps versus just outlining them. There's too many people that are just outlining this stuff, and we need to start to understand how you now show is by actually explaining your stories, your experiences, being able to articulate and communicate, and to be able to showcase that, you know what? I need to get my message across to somebody. How do I do that now? Okay, great. I can network with somebody. I can go to a networking event. We go to networking events. Great. I can go meet somebody. I can connect. But what do? I put them in my contact. I get them as a contact. I put them on my phone. Then what do? You see, and this stage is the most crucial point. This is where I lost millions and millions and millions of dollars because I was not able to do this one thing for the last, I would say, prior to this 4 years, 6 years prior. It took me 10 years to get here. 4 years, I've done quite well. 6 years, I wasted so much potential. It's crazy to look back at it, all because I did not have a system. I didn't have a system to actually integrate. I would go out and I would shake hands and I would meet people and I would do some incredible things. I even did some incredible deals with some very powerful people, multi-million-dollar deals. But did I have a system to know that I could go and contact them back? Did I have a system that could allow me to know when to contact them back, how to contact them back? The system is important because that's how you capture and it's how you convert. In sales nowadays, people can give you tactics for sales. No, it's a system. It's a system that you must apply by capturing and converting, capturing and converting, capturing and converting. Talk to the geniuses, talk to the Grant Cardones, talk to the Tony Robbins of the world. Talk to the guys that have sold millions of dollars off of a stage before. It's about capture and convert, capture and convert. Now, if I ask any of you right now, how do I transact with you? Would you be able to put a link in the chat? Would you be able to put something in the chat right now where someone else can click and transact? Like if I ask Joe, if I ask Sid, if I ask Billy right now, if I ask Felipe, if I ask Timothy, Daniel in the house, could you transact with me right here on this call? But some can, and that's how some make money. Because if you cannot transact on the spot, if you have no system in place that can capture somebody's information and then convert it into a deal, it doesn't matter how many funnels you fucking build. It doesn't matter how big your social media is. None of that shit matters because you're not going to ever convert it. You can post like me for years and years and years. I posted every single day, every single day, every single day until I had a right call to action. None of it made sense. So knowing how to collect and to convert is the exchange of value. It's the exchange of value. I was asked this question. They're like, well, how simplified do you make it? Like, I want to make it simple. Yeah, you make it simple. What's your exchange of value? If I'm willing to give you my phone number and I'm willing to give you my contact information, you must have given me something. Even if I sit with you at the bar right now and I have a good conversation with you and you're like, wow, this Jay guy was kind of cool, man. Like I was able to just share some thoughts. And you gave me your number for a reason because I added value. So that's what I want you guys to understand is what's your value exchange? What's your value exchange? What is the value that you're providing just for their information? Get clear with that step before you even transact. And here's your last one. This one's good. I hear this so often. Jay, there's no opportunities out there. Lack of opportunity. I don't know what to do. There's so many. There's either so many opportunities or there's a lack of opportunity, and there's nothing in between. There's no right opportunity, right? There's too many opportunities, and everyone's trying to sell me this get rich quick thing, and this like buy crypto and get into this game, and here's a new drop shipping game, and FBA this and FBA that. There's one, and then on the other side, it's like lack of opportunity. I don't have anything. I don't care if you're looking for another job or if you're trying to start a business or if you're working for somebody. The concept of opportunity is the rat race that we're putting ourselves into. Can you guys quick mic check right now? Can you guys hear me? Good? Perfect. Got my headphones in. But the lack of opportunity is what I wanted to talk about, because a lot of people talk about lack of opportunity like, I don't know what to do. There's either too many or there's too less. Now, when we look at this, I want you to start to consider the rat race. We just looked at the presidential debate the other day. And not to get political on you, because I'm not talking about who won and who didn't, even though I could decode the shit out of their body language, which could be a funny conversation too. But when I look at like the democratic system, and I look at like just democracy as a whole, and being able to vote and to be able to understand and opportunity costs. Opportunity cost is the biggest thing here. The economy is what the government is derived around. And when you look at economics 101, you start to understand opportunity cost. And when you look at opportunity cost, you look at, where do I want to put my bandwidth? That's the most important part. Because when people say, I have a lack of opportunity, or there's too many opportunities, that means you don't have control over your fucking bandwidth. You wake up every single morning and you say, I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy. But are you productive? Are you actually channeling your energy where it needs to be in that given day, in that given moment, to actually take advantage of the opportunities that are in front of you? When it comes to sales, it doesn't just mean knocking on doors and calling people all day. It's about starting to understand the patterns that the very successful people in the world have. They've done something right. Why recreate the wheel? Why try to go and fix something that doesn't need to be fixed? Get your mindset in this repetitive conversation of life, is what I like to say, because opportunity comes to those that can converse. Now, if I asked, again, any of you on this call right now, let's talk about $6 to $10 million worth of real estate projects, and let's talk about cap rates and NOIs. Are you able to articulate that language? Now, if I talk about insurance and we talk about, IULs and infinite banking and whole life policies and why term is really obsolete. If we started talking about car detailing and we looked at different polishes and different vehicles and different coats that you can put for various, exteriors. How are you an encyclopedia of knowledge to be able to converse with those around you and at least have a conversation? My man Cullen is famous for this. I've seen him do it incredibly well multiple times. He is able to utilize his experience to be able to now converse and to connect with anybody that he meets. You see, the conversation of life, the final point that I wanted to make of this lack of opportunity that we feel that we have, is learning the right things. One thing that I just recently got into was watches. I love watches. I got an AP chronograph on my wrist right now. And one thing I love about watches right now is it's starting to get me to educate myself on watches. I'm starting to learn model numbers. I'm starting to understand the Rolexes versus the Pateks. I'm starting to learn the different, like the way that they're configured, the chronographs versus the tourbillons. Like there's so many different aspects to the watches. But educating myself more and more on the watch now is allowing me to open up the opportunity now of sitting down at the bar and seeing a Patek 5914 on a guy's wrist and being like, damn, I know what that is. So that may be a conversation that I want to have. That doesn't mean that it's going to be just for money, but that's a conversation that I know that man has gone through something and is at some point in his life to have that on his wrist, which means it could be a very interesting conversation based on the products or services that I have to offer that could now open up an opportunity of now making one deal that could, again, change my month, change my year, change the trajectory of my life. Guys, that's how quick it is. We overthink this because we try to think that we have to do this in volume and that we have to spend years and years. And of course, hard work and dedication takes years. It does. You're not going to do it overnight. Fuck that. And you have to have the longevity mindset of knowing that it ain't going to happen today. It may happen in 5 years. It may happen in 10 years. It may happen when God is going to say it's your time, which could be 50 years. I'm like, God, please don't do 50 years for me. But at the end of the day, if you do, I will bless it and I'll honor it and I'll understand it because it is your plan and it's okay. And that's something that when you start to get wholehearted with that reality, it changes the fucking game, gentlemen. It changes the game on the way that you believe, the way that you live your life every single day. So I want you guys to think about this, and I want you to understand becoming relatable is the number one thing that makes authenticity real. It's so hard nowadays. Becoming relatable is showcasing that you're a fucking real human being, that you've gone through shit. That's it. The shit that you want to hide. Now, I'm asking you guys right now, I'm asking the gentlemen, the lines on the call, what is the one thing that if you were fucking exposed right now, you would be like, fuck, I don't want to be exposed? What's that one thing? Think hard right now. That one thing in your mind, you're like, fuck, if that was exposed, like if Jay just called me out, he somehow knew it and he just said it out loud, I would feel the most fucking embarrassed. Think about that thing. Think about it. Imagine if you were to overcome that and get that out to the fucking world. Imagine the fucking man that would come after that. Think about it. All here, gentlemen. All here is where we hold all of our shit. And us men specifically, we don't know how to fucking emotionalize. We barely know how to converse our emotions. What are we gonna be like? Okay, Jay, I need to talk about my feelings, man. I feel sad, Jay. I feel upset. No, you're not going to fucking do that because you weren't conditioned that way. You were conditioned to be a fucking man. You were conditioned to fucking rub some dirt in it, and that's it. But the minute that you can start to internalize yourself, you can start to understand the thoughts that are happening in your mind, and you can slowly start to vocalize it in different ways, in different aspects, to then start to own it and control it and say that I don't give a fuck what it is. I don't care what that limiting belief is. I don't care what that exposure is. It's not what I want people to think that I'm going to be like. It's not what I think people don't need to know about me. It's about me just being fucking me, man. So many years I fought with this, guys. So many years I was trying to impress other people. I was trying to impress my coaches, my mentors, my father. For so many years, I tried to prove him because he was just like, he conditioned me to be a lawyer, doctor, engineer. Be one of them. I came across from India over here. You better be one of them. And that's it. Go to school, do this. And I'm like, not really my thing. I'm a high school dropout, chilling out, smoking weed, drinking with my buddies when I was 16 years old, getting caught and being sent to jail when I was 17. Like, hey, did the complete opposite that you told me to do. But it wasn't until I had to go through those fucking hardships and those hard times, looking at myself in that jail cell going like, holy fuck, man. And that momentum led me to being able to go and shake hands, to being able to be so fearful of public speaking, to running out of buildings, to then going in there and embracing those connections, to being able to go in and shake hands and then being able to connect and saying, look, man, I'm just a young hustler trying to get it going. I'm just trying to learn. You either got time, you either got money, or you got experience. Figure out which one you have, and then go find two other people that have the other two. Time, money, experience. Maybe you'll have two. You got two, then you may only need to find one person. But it all comes down to collaboration. One handshake, gentlemen, one handshake can actually change the trajectory of your life. And for me, it did. The coach that I told you about, the mentor that I told you about, Richard Dolan, he was just off that 3-hour podcast or the 3-hour webinar with Brad Lee. He gave me a personal phone call right afterwards. He's like, Jay, Brad and I were just talking about you. We got some big things. We have an opportunity for you. Come fly out to Vegas. We're going to show you a couple of things that we got going on. And I think you would be a good collaboration for it. Awesome. Opportunity is calling because I'm projecting that out there. I'm knowing that one connection, and that's why Lions Den is so important. That's why we created Lions Den. Lions Den wasn't for me. Lions Den was for us. It was about men sticking together, standing up for one another, and being here present to learn from one another, grow from one another, and to go out there and fucking execute. Because we need more powerful men in this world, especially the world that we're living in right now. The void is that men are lacking this experience and lacking the confidence to go out there and actually fucking roar. Like, I look at you guys right now on the fucking call right now. I'm looking at all you guys right now. I got Julian in the house. We got Brandon. We got Colin. We got Daniel. We got Tim. We got Chris coming in, man. Like, you guys are fucking lions. I watch Billy each day posting how committed he is to his marriage and his faith. How committed. But again, I want to see your face as well too, because his wisdom is so profound. Every time I talk to him, I'm like, wow. I want to hear that roar. And whether Billy wants to share that roar or not is up to Billy, like, because I will say that Billy's a very particular man. He's like, I can roar all I want, but it's a matter of if I want to and if what God's calling me to be. right? And that's something that, again, I'm learning from an older brother of mine that's teaching me these ways. But it's like, I want you guys to really go out there and start to understand that your roar is so powerful. Your roar is hiding inside of your heart right now. And you're holding it back with these things because you're like, I got to just maintain my day to day. I got to pay the bills. I gotta protect the wife. I got to take care of the kids. I gotta do these things, but you got to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. You got to make sure that your roar and your love and the bucket of joy that you have is being replenished every single night. Otherwise, you will wake up unfulfilled. You will wake up not feeling that same energy, and you will get to a point where you're like, damn, is it my wife? Fuck, man, I want to avoid my kids. I don't want to go to work. And then you get into these fucking depression moments, and fuck depression. I don't fucking believe in depression. You believe in depression, you're already thinking two-sided that way. It's about thinking exactly where you need to be because the powerful lion that you are. And that's why, guys, I want to introduce. I want to switch up gears here. You got me a little fired up right now. When I get fired up, like I'm like, like the lion comes out of me. I'm literally about to roar. But I want to switch this up because I wanted to make this. We're starting to kind of wind these calls down at the 45 mark as well too. We're starting to kind of cut it down a little shorter. Depending on how many guys want to chat. So I encourage you guys. But I do want to quickly just give a couple quick announcements. We are announcing there was an event that we had planned and we decided to delay it. And I just want to be open and honest with that. Look, I want to say this simply. I will put on an event. I will give dates and I will even sell tickets. But I ain't going to take nobody's fucking money if I cannot perform and make sure that I take care. So we had an event planned and I canceled that and I postponed the event. And there was people that even paid VIP and everything like that. And we had to go back and say, listen, if you want your refund, you want your refund. No, not one person wanted a refund because of what we said. Because the way that I want to show up at this event is going to be different. I'm flying in my coaches from different parts of the world to bring you guys insights, tactics on NLP communication, business strategy, mindset, and being able to really come together as brothers the way we do. And it is not just an average event. This is an event that I want you guys to be able to come into Tampa Bay and to be able to come out transformed as the lion that is uncaging his roar. So it's going to be epic. It's going to be October 19th. I'm going to get JC to give you some more information on that. And outside of that, I want you guys to also understand that we're doing some big things inside of our community membership. For those of you that are already inside the community, incredible. But some of the incredible things that this platform has to offer, I'm telling you guys now, get involved as soon as possible. For those VIPs that have already paid and already inside, make sure you just migrate and get the new platform set up. There is some incredible benefits, bonuses that are coming up, an ultimate way for us to just gamify and just to be able to enjoy as brothers, like that clubhouse that we always dreamed of. When we were young, that clubhouse, we like, we get to go there, we get to chill out, we get to talk with our boys and win some prizes, maybe walk out with a cool watch, and just be able to just enjoy life together. We're gonna go. I've been wanting to come out there. I keep telling Felipe, I'm like, we gotta get down there. So now I got my connection here. We're gonna come see you guys soon, gentlemen, Lions. Thank you guys so much for being here today. Thank you for showing up every single week like we do. 8 o'clock EST on the Lions Den. It's been an incredible call. Hope you guys have gotten some incredible insights, the connection, the real understanding of what brotherhood means and what needs to be for the future. So stand true. I will see you guys next week, 8 p.m. EST on the Lions Den. And always remember, get involved in that community because there's some big things coming. I want you guys to really plug in as well too, because there's some big things coming that I got in store for y'all. So God bless, respect, and I'll see you next week.